a beautiful charge.
Whoa,
This is
what
fine. Oh my god, this is
Oh,
what a save.
What?
Okay.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This is our last match of the day, our second to last match out of the group stages, out of the Mount Horror group. It is Vulajin versus JHobz, a match that I am super excited about. It's going to be hard maybe to top the last race, just no matter who's running.
Yeah,
but I'm excited.
definitely.
On commentary, I'm Grimelios, and the other voice you just heard was Cleanfell. Hello.
How are you doing, Grim? I'm doing fine.
I am doing great. Would you care to start introducing this?
Definitely. So this is between Vulajin and JHobz, some long-term Ori runners and two of the tournament planners of the tournament. Vulajin is currently 2-0, as well as JHobz. So I mean, this is a battle for first seed, and actually something I'm not sure if we had this match. These guys are actually going to be talking to each other during the match, just for some trash talking. Some fun rivalry going on here.
I'm sure they'll have no trash talking whatsoever. They'll be like, wow, that was a nice execution you had there, Vulajin. I'm proud of you. That's going to be the whole match. It's going to be no swear words, nothing crude. They would never do such a thing.
Yeah.
We will not be able to hear that because, of course, it would sort of be an audio nightmare probably, but they're sort of going to be doing that for themselves, and I believe they'll both be watching each other. I know for a fact that Vulajin will be watching. So quickly run through the numbers. As you can see, they're both 2-0 in their group, although Vulajin's PB and best race time is better. Vulajin's PB is currently sitting at a 30:32, which he just got today, about 4 hours ago. That's 8 seconds faster than his previous PB at a 30:40. He has a best race time of 31:41, assuming that I wrote everything down correctly, and he'll be on hybrid. We can cover exactly how he plays hybrid as the race continues, but otherwise, Cleano, I'm going to toss it to you for Mr. JHobz.
So yeah, JHobz, he definitely is a long time runner, but has not played in a little bit. So his best race times have been quite far away from his PB, but he's been getting the practice now, and he is hoping to get a sub 35 best race time for his last match of the group stage here.
I also believe that based on the information given to us by our runners, JHobz had a very specific prediction for Vulajin, didn't he?
Yeah, he says Vulajin's gonna get a 34. So there you go.
Bold words, and we'll see if it pays off. Vulajin, as you can see from the times and the PBs there, does have the better PB, and it's in the low 30 range, which means that roughly 3-minute-ish PB is quite substantial. Vulajin would certainly be the favorite to win this thing, but that's also within the range where Vulajin takes a nasty death or two that Hobbs could certainly clinch a victory. But Hobbs, I would consider the underdog going into this. It'll be exciting to see how things can close out.
Definitely gonna be a fun match, and it also said Hobbs, he disabled debug mode this time, so you will not see some debug mode on his screen for this race.
It's good. You don't accidentally have to restart your game or sort of frantically panic. There's enough to worry about when you're doing an all skills run. You don't want to have to deal with debug at the same time.
That's right, but we are away, and both runners skipping the prologue, and it's gonna be for the first few minutes. It's gonna be pretty sync, no big difference in the early game.
I'm just imagining Vulajin being like, "Oh God, Hobbs, I skipped that prologue 1 frame faster than you. Haha, get wrecked, noob. Probably should forfeit." That's I think what I would be saying in his shoes. And Vulajin's even probably better at that. I shudder to think of what profanities are going on behind closed doors. Yeah,
definitely. We got some rude people, but we also got some great runners. So both these guys, again, we got some 2 great runners, and I hope to see again some nice race from both of them, and possibly a new best race time from Hobbs as well as Vulajin.
That's right. This race is cool for a lot of reasons. Not only is it's not the last stage of the group. We do have one more later due to an unfortunate injury. Turns out that if your hand is hurt, it's hard to run Ori. But it's almost the last group stage, and out of Vulajin and Hobbs, they're very good friends. They've known each other for a long time. Vulajin has run Ori at GDQ twice now. Hobbs was one of my co-commentators at that AGDQ race, so I mean, to say that these two are immersed in Ori is an understatement. But it's also just interesting looking at the run in isolation. We have 2 runners who are currently on controller. As we said, Vulajin is going to be hybrid, so he will be switching over to KBM, but only at very specific points. And we know exactly where those those are. But for the vast majority of the run, he will be on controller, just like JHobz. And there are not that many controller runners in general, and there are even fewer pure controller runners like Hobbs.
Ooh, Vulajin and Hobbs are both gonna mess up there, trying to jump on that pedal, but now they both get up, so had a little bit of a chance for Hobbs to catch up, but nope, he failed it too, so we still got the same difference here coming to the ghost door.
That's pretty hilarious. Both having issues with that same silly little bounce pad.
Definitely it's a weird one.
Of course, it has to happen in a race. Let's see if Vulajin and Hobbs can get their health down low enough for a clean ghost door. Both of them are, you know, well versed in Ori, well practiced. I would not expect to see too much awful spaghetti, at least not yet.
Even though Hobbs did have to, he got shot back by that slime and had to kill it to go past. So maybe only a little bit of spaghetti, not too much though.
Not too much. This isn't the meatball shaft. It's not time for spaghetti yet. Vulajin took a little bit of damage on the way down. Should not be too problematic. Had to pause for just a moment on that slime. Overall, Vulajin's execution in the early game here has just been a bit cleaner than Hobbs, which has given Vulajin over on the left side a little bit of an early lead. But as we sort of reiterate almost every single race, leads before wall jump are nice, but they're not too impactful because there's just so much room for improvement and also so much room for unfortunate deaths later on.
That's right. And now Vulajin's going to, very nice move. He's going to skip that flower petal. That will give him XP. He's going to wait till after to level up, as will Hobbs. So both of them are going to level up and just kill the brambles on the way out of wall jump.
Very comparable play on both sides. I have to imagine that they're both sort of enjoying talking to each other. We've talked multiple times in this tournament about sort of the different factors that may contribute to a runner deciding to watch their opponent or not watch their opponent. As you said, I don't know if we've had the case where runners are actually in a voice call with each other, but that's, I think, sort of just evidence of how good friends these two are. I mean, I can tell you that very late last night, there were some very heated arguments about certain aspects of Ori. Like, people were really, really, you know, frustrated about it. But then after the argument ended, we all stuck around, and Hobbs and Vulajin were part of that, and they were just, you know, stayed respectful. It's that might sound like a sort of odd example to bring up in this scenario, but I think it makes sense if you would be in a voice call together, I guess is my point, just given their personalities.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice, and definitely with tournaments like this, it's always best to have fun and just enjoy the ride. And and I'm glad that both these runners are embracing it, and we will see those tricks that they were arguing about soon, and maybe we'll be able to talk about how they feel about it.
That's right. Hopefully we don't see too many issues in Blackroot Burrows as well. Still relatively clean play. Vulajin has maintained his lead of not very much over JHobz, just a handful of seconds. The next big gauntlet is going to be Blackroot Burrows, and I would say even the first gauntlet within Blackroot Burrows, I lied. It was the Bramble before Blackroot. That was the real final boss of the speedrun.
That's gotta hurt, because he was just before ready to save and so he was done with that area, but nah, he's got to do it all again.
Well, that's so rough. I mean, what happens is there are 5 brambles there that you can take out, but sometimes, depending on your movement, when you first go past it, you can take out 1 or 2 of them, maybe even 3 if you're super, super good. And what happened to Hobbs there is I think maybe he just had the tiniest of missteps, which can be easy to do. It can be even easier to do because as you're taking out the brambles, there's little bursts of particles and bright flashing lights, almost similar to the bright flashing lights that you're going to see on Vulajin's side in a moment. That can make some of this precision movement just a little bit more difficult.
Definitely, but I just want to imagine what Hobbs said to Vulajin when that happened. You know, it's like questions on everything's fine, but he is going to get through this time. Brambles have not won this time, and Vulajin's into some cycles, and it looks like he couldn't get the perfect cycle on these platforms, which is about 8 seconds. So again, not too big of a time loss there.
Every cycle somehow just ends up being like 8 seconds or so, something about how the platforms move. So that could be an opportunity for Hobbs to catch up. There is a whole lot of run remaining, and remember going into this that Hobbs, I think, would be considered an underdog, not like a massive, impossible underdog, but an underdog nonetheless going into this thing. You sort of asked what he was thinking when that happens. I'm guessing I could see JHobz laughing about it. You know, it's not that he would be happy about that, but I think it'll be sort of a more positive thing. I think they're probably both approaching this run in a very positive way. And
Yeah,
I think that's a good way to approach it when you are in the final match of your group kind of situation.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd see more stress about having a good performance here from JHobz because he's looking for that best race time, and Vulajin already has a pretty good race time. So in the end, it's just more of a relaxing thing. But hopefully we'll see him pull off a pretty impressive time. And so far, Vulajin has had some really nice games.
You know, with all the praise that we're heaping on these guys, we're just asking for like a colossal curse to just drop down on them later on.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll find out what happens from what we've said. But
You won't believe what happens next.
You won't believe it. But Vulajin has gotten dash, and so now he's off with the ability that makes him pretty much go like 4 times faster than walking. So you'll see him just flying away and heading to one of the first sequence breaks of the game, the classic Frankie walk.
The classic Frankie walk. This trick used to be awful. It's still awful, but it used to be also. It's just slightly less awful than it used to be before. Remember that Vulajin did have that lead early on, getting towards the entrance to Blackroot Burrows, and then due to that pretty nasty death by JHobz, that lead solidified. So if Vulajin does have any issues with this or the final escape, it'll put him much closer into JHobz296 territory. But I'm guessing that he will not. The first thing you have to do is kite the Froggy over to the right and then take him out in a particular location to absorb his XP. Let's see how that part goes. Cool. Easy peasy.
Yep, very nice, and with Magnet makes that a pretty trivial thing, and he gets past the Death Gauntlet, goes for the Frankie Duck and the Death Glide. Oh! Didn't work out, but he adapted very well to that.
It was certainly a nice adaptation, wasn't it? I think that should be our goal, Cleanfell, with our commentary today. I love that little jump that Vul does, by the way. Our goal should be to bring as many like commentary ticks as possible. Let's just use the word like verticality, absolutely, indeed, making his way. Just throw in as many as possible. That'll be our present when these guys watch it back.
I wasn't sure if that was I was told with commentary feedback, but I think Rich will appreciate it.
Yeah, I do want to point out that Vulajin missed his Grotto cycle. That's another. Again, I almost hesitate to say an 8-second time loss. It's a loss of a potential 8-second time gain, which means that if JHobz misses it as well, then there's still even no net gain either way. But if JHobz gets it, that's a way to scrape back some time on his opponent. So let's hope for the best once he gets down there. But JHobz still has to get there first, though. Here's the Frankie. See ya, Frankie. Your usefulness to us has expired, and he's going to make his way through the Death Gauntlet. Vulajin on the left, in the meantime, is going to be doing some blind movement after picking up double jump.
Yes, and you can tell it's good because he hadn't taken any damage by dumping into that pool. That we've only seen a few people do, but it can be rough sometimes to fall down. But he gets past it, and JHobz is get past the Death Gauntlet, and now he's in the grotto.
Yep, JHobz dropped a safety save. JHobz did mention before this thing that he is going to be going for, he's intentionally going to be going for less safety than he might ordinarily, unless he takes a bunch of damage and I guess has to in order to not lose massive amounts of time. I don't think JHobz has really, almost got that skip, close one. I don't know that JHobz has been taking additional safety so far. There just aren't that many opportunities, but it'll be more interesting getting into Sorrow and Misty. Vulajin is through his Grotto skip, by the way, while I was talking about all the crushers. Got a fourth try. Each one of those Grotto skip attempts doesn't lose you very much time, and Vulajin is in a pretty comfortable lead anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But again, just these small opportunities for JHobz to try to continue having clean play. Get it? Because every name.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good, thank you.
It was close, but he actually it was clean movement, but he almost fell. Oh no!
Now you're doing it too.
Now I ain't gotta do it. And so far, Vulajin's heading to the water vein, and he's good. So now he's just got these optimizations of the wall movement heading up to Ginso.
That's right. When you're doing wall jumps in Org, you can do something which is known as a ninja jump, where you go neutral on your input. I think we may actually see JHobz going for them. They are a trick that looks super cool, but it is very, very difficult to save time doing ninja jumps. It's something that like the task does to save frames on a series of double jump wall jumps. It's not that you can't save time as a human, you can, it's just sort of hard. And so most top runners, including Vulajin, decide to not go for them.
That's fine.
Sort of correctly, what's the word I'm looking for? Evaluating it and determining that the trick is not really worth its time.
Definitely. And Hobbs on the right actually got a nice grotto skip. I wasn't sure if that was first try, but
it was, thank you to Fant. That was a first try grotto skip.
You gotta wonder if Hobbs is like bragging, like, "Oh, I got a first try. What'd you get, Vula?"
He's definitely bragging. There is no universe in which Hobbs is not bragging about that right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, having a little bit of trouble with the movement up on the wall jump movement. He's trying for those ninja jumps, and now he's up there. So,
dude, just substituting one jump for another. Hobbs got first try grotto skip, then had some issues on that other wall. Vulajin got fourth try, but I think got his movement more cleanly at the top, so it sort of evens out.
That's it. And now Vulajin into the vertical dungeon. The verticality level is like off the. It's in the ceiling. Like that's how much verticality is in this Ginzo tree right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Indeed, there sure is a lot of verticality. Looks like Vulajin is making his way through the second room. Oh, what? Oh, okay. I'm trying to throw in a bunch of really crappy commentary things. Sorry. In all seriousness, Vulajin is moving through these rooms just fine. Made it around that little gamer cycle. If you move your correctly through the first two rooms, you tend to catch those cycles in the way that you want to. It's not as tight as some of the cycles in like Blackroot Brewers, but they are cycle based nonetheless. Pretty soon he'll be getting a brief respite in the puzzle room. Whereas Hobbs is approaching Ginzo Tree as well. Hobbs still in second place over on the right side with a deficit to try to catch up.
And so now Hobbs making it more... Oh, trying for that dash because there's a Frankie down there that has his name on it. But oh, he's good and he's going to go get that teleporter as Vulajin is into the RNG boss himself, the worm.
Now, I want to make sure I point out, this is one instance where Vulajin switches to keyboard mouse. The reason that Vulajin switches to keyboard mouse is for access to scroll wheel shooting. Look how fast Vulajin can hit these shots on this thing. Having shots at this pace allows you to get a much easier 5-cycle. It's not that you can't get a 5-cycle on controller, but it's just a little bit easier on KBM. And it's kind of nice because you have this free moment afterwards to switch back to controller. So Vulajin, as we said, is going to be spending the vast majority of this speedrun on controller, but he will be switching to KBM at a few select parts for just a little bit of additional consistency and speed.
Yeah, and that was very nice Vulajin. So now, for a little bit, he's back on the controller as Hobbs is finally made it to the Ginzo Tree. Despite that death, he's still making some pretty good pace. And Vulajin is now at Bash.
Yes, he is. Bashing on... Oh, okay, Hobbs took some damage. That's okay. Bashing on controller is like a fun little just mini-game in its own. Bashing on controller is fundamentally different from bashing on a mouse. When you bash on a mouse, you just aim in the direction and you're good to go. You also get free bash glides, where you bash in a direction and release all directional input in order to keep some faster speed in the air. Vulajin does not get that luxury. That said, he is very experienced. He's been with Ori since literally day one, and so he probably will not have too many issues. He's also going to make his save on the second platform up here. Nice job taking out that little slug thing in preparation. That's okay. That's a super quick death. That won't be too costly.
Definitely is, and that was intentional. He's trying to get his health down to really low so that he can set up the key dupe here so we can get 3 extra keys. And oh no! He misses it. It was not too far right. And he's got to try that again. That's
another scenario where controller can be a little bit disadvantaged. It's not that the trick is inherently any faster in keyboard mouse, but most KBM players, in order to die at the correct spot in the spikes, will aim their bash in a certain location using a visual cue. Vulajin does not have that. He just has to aim using an angle. So he was super close, just accidentally missed it one time.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, that's just to emphasize too, Hobbs is also on controller, so I'm not saying that that's an advantage that Hobbs has. It's just a bit of trivia, I suppose, on the input methods.
Yeah, that's right. And we always have the war of the input methods, but...
it's unending.
Yeah, but Vulajin's good now, and he got some nice hyperspeed heading to this second mini-boss, and now we're skipping that clean water to do that lovely swamp entry with Ringo. I believe that's what they call the frog, right? Something like that.
It is. We call him Ringo the Frog because not on Swamp Entry, but on Swamp Exit, you end up using the same frog to get out, and he makes a whole bunch of racket, wakes up all the neighbors, gets a noise complaint, and gets evicted from his apartment complex. But not right now. That's going to happen on the way out. Before that happens, Vulajin has to use Ringo to get in, and to do that, he has to keep the frog alive and keep himself alive. I don't know whether Vulajin does blind movement here. We'll find out in just about a second. He does. It saves like 1 second, so that's not too surprising.
Yeah, the other good factor is that it will disable the lasers that are usually active at this part, but being able to skip the cutscene, the lasers aren't there. Some people opt to do it, and again, if you're just good with the lasers, makes no time. But there you go, he's at the swamp entry.
Now keep in mind that Vulajin, okay, nice job not getting damage on the spike. Vulajin is first and second try in swamp entry on his tournament races so far, and this one looks good. So far he is doing, as always, the controller method, and there it goes, making that trick look like a breeze. If you play on keyboard mouse, you can do some double bashes, which is, I don't know if it's faster, it's just different. It's different and arguably a little bit easier, sort of. It's really just mostly based on preference, and Vulajin just did it just fine. JHobz is going to end up doing it the same way when he gets there, of course.
That's right, and JHobz looked like to have a successful key, but was a little slow, but he looks good, and he's trying out the hyperspeed, and gets it very nice, so both these runners still, despite some tiny mistakes, are on pretty good pace.
That is right. I also love that we call this second thing in Ginso a mini-boss. It's... I do feel safe saying this. It's so easy that it's like... I hardly consider it worthy of being called a mini-boss. Vulajin had a quick trash bash on the left side. You saw that lantern just go absolutely flying. We're just testing Ori's physics. Also took a quick dip in the pool, but the chlorine was a little bit too concentrated, and so it damaged him. He's sort of chlorine sensitive.
He was also testing the water. He's testing a lot of things, and yep, they will all hurt him because Ori is very fragile and delicate.
Dodged the water the second time. So here's Ringo. I don't know if we covered that up, but there's a bunch of noise if you're listening to it. It's not very important. It's not a crucial point during this speedrun. It's just a fun name. We like to have fun when we speedrun. We come up for fun names of things.
Oh, we got some fun names coming up for you later in the run, don't we?
No, so Vulajin on the left is going to take his Kuro cutscene skip. Well done. That is a very thin cutscene trigger that you can use a precise bash to skip through, and Vulajin did it just fine. It's sort of funny about that trick. If you get it successfully, it looks like nothing happens at all. Vulajin did have issues twice with that bash, but that's okay. You can get over those instant kill spikes with a dash glide as well, but then you also have the added challenge of getting out of it. Nice job. That shot was almost too high, but Vulajin executed just fine. He's out of there. His next destination is going to be Charge Flame, but eyes to the right for JHobz' swamp entry.
He had a trouble on the first attempt. He actually just fell right into the frog, but now he's trying it again, and he gets it very nice. Man, that was bold, because if that shot didn't make it, he would have had to try that again.
I was thinking the same thing, but JHobz was just that confident. Let's see if he can also get this hyperspeed. He did. It's a cool trick. It doesn't save very much time, but more importantly, doing a hyperspeed looks really cool and it's really fun. So JHobz is about to get to the stomp tree. Just has to do some bashing. He'll probably just go around the long way. That's okay. Also doesn't lose much time. Vulajin is actually 2 trees ahead at this point, soon to be back down to 1 tree. So Vulajin on the left still has a very solid lead.
Definitely. You're now on the left side of the map, which has a lot of birds, so we're going to use these birds to bash and whatnot. And Vulajin's heading to Fast Stompless, a fun trick that saves quite a bit of time, and he's actually not missed it yet this tournament, so hopefully we'll continue to see that success rate from Vulajin.
I certainly hope so. Vulajin will be getting to that trick pretty shortly. He just has to kind of go up for a little while. The tell for when Vulajin is going to start this trick is he's going to stand still for a moment and bash a spider projectile sort of up and to the left. That spider will be coming up quite shortly. Vulajin just has to make a pit stop and grab an ability cell, because experience and ability cells are quite crucial to the speedrun. Nice job by JHobz using Ringo to get up to the cell, but now Vulajin gets the spider projectile, bashes it. He's going to stomp, he's going to dash, he's going to do all kinds of cool tricks. I think it looked good as well. Snop stall in midair, bashing up one more time, got the cell, and he's through.
Yes.
Well done.
People have to blame me for if he missed it, because he got it, so...
that continues his 100% streak.
Definitely, you know? And there you go. The streak is alive for Fast Stompless. JHobz is at the Kuro cutscene. I think he missed and did a reload.
He did. He missed it one time. That was just something else that occurred on the second attempt. Come on, Hobbs.
Oh, trying to get that shot, and oh, he was like questioning mid menu, like, you know what? I think I've tried enough. I'll just watch the bird for.
You know what? He'll move past it. Curve cutscene is in the past. Let's pay attention to Vulajin's Sarabash. He does a technique that is, I don't know if it's unique to him anymore, but it is pretty cool. Almost made it high enough. These spikes, remember, are insta-kill at his current health, so he almost made it up high enough.
That was very close. And yeah, as you can, that's definitely a weirder type of trick here. Some people opt to manipulate 2 birds. He's just going to go for 1, and he's in.
He is indeed, but he hasn't made a safety save yet, which is common. Most runners don't make a safety save right when you get there, because all of Sorrow, despite being a sort of very dangerous area full of insta-kill spikes, it's quite short when you're good at it.
That's right. And so where is Vulajin right now, Grim?
He is in the, oh my god, wait. He's in the Saltine Saloon.
Beautiful.
He's in the Saltine Saloon. Fant came up with that one, everyone. If you groan, direct your groans to Fant.
Thanks, Fant.
Fant.
So that was very delicate movement, because Vulajin's got 4 health. Those chips do 4 damage, and you know what that means. If he gets hit, he's dead. But he's doing good so far to make it through and set up his Terror Break.
Yes, he is. This is the one example of a save anywhere that Vulajin is not doing on KBM. Every single other one in the game he'll be doing on keyboard and mouse due to superior menuing on that input method. I don't think we need to go into the details of why Save Anywhere is better on KBM, but just know that it is a little bit better, and that's why Vulajin does it.
That's right. I'm sorry, Graham, but I don't think the people like that one. So I think when Hobbs goes through it, you're gonna have to really get that chip name going.
No pressure, right?
Yeah. No pressure. It's fine.
No pressure. Okay, so Hobbs is going over some poison water. It's all purple, and as we know, purple things are just pure evil. So we're going to be heading up, and Hobbs is going to take his, I keep saying attempts, hopefully singular attempt at Fast Stompless. It's a trick that I believe saves about 15 seconds if you get it, as opposed to just not attempting it at all. But of course, Hobbs is going to try it. He's a professional. He's not going to let something as silly as a Spider Bash scare him. And Vulajin got it as well, which means that to keep parity, Hobbs has to get this as well. Hobbs is also on controller, by the way, so Hobbs also has to aim the bash sort of manually.
That's right. And now you're going to definitely want to keep your... ooh, Hobbs gets it, so very nice. And now you definitely want to look on Vulajin's screen, because he's doing some very nice movement through misty woods. It's definitely one of the funnest section of the run.
It is the most fun.
Funnest.
It's just funnest. The fun
Nice.
the fun ship sanctuary or something. I don't know where I was going.
What? I guess.
It's supposed to be Sunship Sanctuary, but Funship Sanctuary. That's the attempt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. 0 out of 10. Hobbs got charge, whatever the heck it is. He's gonna grab whatever this thing is. He's gonna use some skills, and then pretty soon he's gonna press some buttons and do another skill. Oh, here we go. There it is. What a skill. All right, so now Hobbs gets to do his Sarabash as well. Also decided to not go off to the side to make a safety save, which I again believe is normal for him. I think he might be doing Vulajin's method. I might be wrong about that, but I think he is.
Is he trying to steal Vulajin's method mid-run? I mean, that may probably be what he does normally, but I guess there you go.
Imagine using strats that someone else came up with. I think we should have a patent system for strats in a speedrun, so whoever discovered Sarabash is the only person who can use it.
That's right. And Hobbs gets in, I believe, that second try, so that's very nice Sarabash. And man, look at Vulajin, just crushing Misty so far.
Misty Woods is difficult to commentate, to be quite honest, because at the moment you look at the other screen, someone at the caliber of Vulajin is just going to be like halfway through the whole area. It's just super cool to play and to watch, but it's also easy to miss because of just how quickly it goes away.
Right. So, yeah, Vulajin making some quick work as Hobbs is in, I don't know, Ruffles Ravine. I mean, I already used that one, but I mean, it's a good name nonetheless.
There are lots of them. I'm going to give extra shout-outs to something else that Fant came up with, because they're good names. They're good names he's coming up with. The Veggie Chip Vestibule. The Veggie Chip Vestibule.
Nice. Get that Gotta shout the vegans as well. So there you go.
For anyone who doesn't know what in the world is going on, it's just a bad meme of chip names related to this zone. So if you are confused, you can go ahead and feel free to let that just slip out of your memory. We're on to bigger and better things. JHobz got his Terror Break successfully. He's heading up towards the Sunstone, whereas Vulajin is well on his way out of Misty Woods. Vulajin is playing super, super well. I don't believe he's on PB pace, I don't think, but he's still playing very, very cleanly. I also do want to point out that despite JHobz having some fun trash-talking saying Vulajin's going to get a 34, JHobz also said that he felt pretty confident that he could get a new best race time. And I don't have the exact deltas on that either, but given that his best race time is a 35-33, I think that he can definitely do that.
Definitely, you don't want to see JHobz's prediction. You don't want JHobz to go 0-2 for his predictions. So let's hope he can get at least one of those right, and the one we expect to be right is his new best race time.
That's right. I mean, JHobz has an uphill battle ahead of him. He has had some rough deaths so far, so I'm not saying that it's going to be easy to do, but it is, I think, still within reach. So Vulajin has the save area open. This is another one. If you pay close attention, you can see sort of a cursor moving. That's an indicator that Vulajin is on KBM just for this trick, and I believe he probably switches to controller during that load time. That would be the logical place to... Apparently, that spike hitbox just extends up above it a little bit. That was kind of funny.
That's a bit weird, but ooh. Yeah, JHobz, another fortune that has to stomp down Starro Bash again, but he's out this time, and ooh, he tried for the meteor kick, but killed the bird instead. He's fine, he's in the Misty.
Yes, he is, and Vulajin has every single skill. As always, we will have one grenade jump, one of that frame-perfect trick that lets you go super, super quick, speedrun trick that a casual player would probably not do unless they just got very, very lucky. Nice rocket jump by Gula as well. There's going to be one grenade jump at the end of the run because there always is. I don't know offhand whether we're going to see other ones from Vulajin. I suspect not, but I might be wrong about that. And a death from JHobz too, yeah.
Yeah, again, he's still on pretty good pace, but definitely not what you want to see. Someone trying to get that new best race time. But so far, he's not giving up. He's still looking really good through Misty. Vulajin has teleported to the swamp and Thornfell Swamp, and he's to the final section of Horde.
That's right. He's certainly almost there. It's probably still possible for JHobz to do this. We talked about JHobz getting a best race time. I hope that he can still do it, but is becoming increasingly less likely with these mistakes. I'm sure he's getting nothing but positive reinforcement from Vulajin, and I'm not even joking about that. I mean, when you speedrun a game like this, one of the best parts is that it is very competitive, but you do sincerely want your opponent to do well, just a little bit less well than you. That's what you want in a race.
Definitely, and Vulajin is at Door Warp, and he's definitely going to be talking about this one if he makes it first time to JHobz. So let's see how he does with Door Warp.
As always, frame perfect trick. The goal is to press up to enter the door on the frame that the game loads. There are multiple methods to do it, and Vulajin just nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
First try, Door Warp was free to Vulajin, and he gets into the final.
That's right. That is the rule of speedrunning. If you see someone get a trick successfully first try, you think that it is literally free every time.
That's right. And Vulajin still on some great pace. I'm sorry, Haas, but that 34 time so far, Vulajin's looking really, really good. I swear I didn't commentate a curse right there.
That's right. Continue paying attention to our current first place person on the left side, Vulajin, as he's going to make very quick work of this final escape sequence. He's going to be He's going to be avoiding all damage in order to survive the poison water. You can also see that Vula turn on his UI because there's no UI things to skip right here. Anyway, Vula only has 5 health, so he has to get through the poison water successfully. There's 1 fish, 2 fish, dead fish. Get out of the poison water, Ori. Oh. Just kidding.
Yeah, dang, yeah. Gets hit there, and he's still on a great pace. Again, we're hoping for that time. If he makes this, he may be able...
It's just rough. It's just rough. I mean, that poison swim is very, very precise. Vulajin, I'm sure, was just barely unable to get out of there. Maybe the slightest bit of movement, maybe the fish were in slightly the wrong positions, but in professional sort of fashion, Vulajin made it back there very quickly. Got out the second time with 1 health remaining. He's going to do a charge jump to the spawn curve. He's going to get up towards the top, and let's see how many attempts it takes that grenade jump. Vula has 1.5 energy. Hopefully he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. First try. Nice.
Very nice job from Vulajin. And he is going to finish up here, and that will be a new best race time for Vulajin. His previous one was a 31:52. and he's gonna beat that by maybe about 20 seconds. Very nice.
Certainly a good performance by him, and he got to have that good performance while in a voice chat with JHobz, so that's even more special.
Definitely. So this is definitely gonna help him out for the brackets, which again, after one more race that had to be postponed, those brackets are coming very slowly. We got a week of week cutoff, week break before they really begin. So
yeah, that's right.
definitely a
Well,
great performance.
yeah, we're gonna have Vulajin at the end here. We're gonna wait for JHobz to finish up, and then I'm sure we'll be getting Vulajin and JHobz in for an interview. As always, they might say no, but I can't imagine that they will. So we'll almost certainly have both of them in for an interview once JHobz finishes. And I also know that Vulajin is gonna say some words on the sort of format of our tournaments after this. As I said, this is not our final group stage match because there's still one more between Hydra and Sikinar that's gonna be scheduled. Hopefully before too long. It's injury related is why it was a little bit delayed, but this is almost the final group stage match, and so Vulajin is gonna, I think, pop in at the end and give us some more information, which is good because I'd be lying if I said I actually fully understood the bracket logic of putting together everything after the group stages.
Yeah, I don't know if some of you guys have looked at it. It's kind of weird, but I guess it works out. And so there we go. JHobz got has all his skills. There we go. English, please. We're good.
That's right. JHobz is going to play with a little bit of safety. Oh my god.
What? How did he do that? That was crazy.
It's a different kind of hitbox testing, dude. We've talked about hitbox testing if someone like hits a laser. That's just like precision hitbox testing. It's like, how close can I get to this thing without actually touching it? I think JHobz wins the award in that category.
Yeah, definitely. That was crazy, but there you go, JHobz. As on to Horu, and we are good. I don't believe this will be a new best race time for him. He'd have to turn into he'd have to go crazy for the final 2 minutes.
It's probably not possible at this point, but that is just okay. JHobz is going to do his best to get through this final section as much as possible. I believe that was a nice little backflip dash glide. That's tech you don't see very often, unless my eyes deceive me. We also see JHobz briefly going out of his way in the Horror Fields area to get a 6th health cell. That's a very common health cell that we see many runners take, even at relatively high levels, because it doesn't lose you much time at all, but at the level of play that JHobz is at, it all but guarantees that you get through the poison water in one attempt.
That's right, and here you go. JHobz is that what people would say is arch nemesis door warp. Let's hope. I think let's give him some energy, guys. Everyone put some energy in the chat for JHobz to get this first try door warp.
That's right. Vulajin also got it first try. JHobz is not going to take 296 attempts. Instead, he's going to take 1 attempt. The game auto-saves when you enter, so you don't need to manually make one. Yes, he is.
There you go. I'm proud of him, He practiced that for at least an hour yesterday, just doing like 300 attempts on door warp. And
he did.
Oh, we'll stop there, but he's got it. He's got to be feeling good about that.
That was part of the discussion, is how consistent can door warp be? I don't know the answer to that question, but I know how consistent it was in this race, and the answer was very. So well done to both of them. JHobz just has this giant bird and a lot of lava between him and his finish here. Not that much else to say, to be quite honest. I don't expect to see any massive issues from JHobz unless we cursed him by saying that. JHobz, despite coming in 2nd place in this race, is a very experienced speedrunner of not only this game, but many other games. And it'll be cool to see him work his way through this.
Definitely, and we also got our stats person in the production, Oshi, who worked with JHobz on that door warp attempt. So he's feeling, I think Oshi's got to feel good about that. JHobz is through the water. He's got one last grenade jump that separates him from a victory. Oh, not a victory, just the end of the race.
Specific spot on the wall. He's going to use climb and aim a charge jump at as high an angle as it can go. Press A, whatever the inputs are. He did it well.
Whatever the
inputs are, it's not important. It's a cool trick. It's frame perfect because that's a good buzzword to throw around, although it's also true. In this case, it is actually frame perfect. So GG to JHobz. Vulajin will be taking the victory with a final time of 31:45, and we'll be getting confirmation on JHobz's final time shortly, just after he holds right. And then we will be getting both of those guys in for a fun little fireside chat.
Definitely. Overall, both these guys had some great run, and that was a great final run of the night. And both of them have got to be feeling good about this performance today.
Well, we don't even have to guess. They can just tell us themselves.
That's
I see
right.
both of them in on deck, so we'll sort of do some Discord pinging, and they can come in at any time. I'm actually going to mute myself for a moment, Clean, if you want to take over for a moment.
Sure thing. Hello, everybody. We're joined by JHobz and Vula. Congrats to both of you on a nice race, and congrats to you, Vula, on a new best race time and the victory today.
Thanks, dude.
How are you feeling? How's it going?
It's all right, you know.
Yeah, how's your day?
Well, it's going okay. I would have liked to have that PB run that I had earlier today during this race to get that better seating, but you know, whatever. I like the coincidence that I've ended up in Sigma's division for the bracket. That's going to be kind of hilarious potentially.
That's
and then
right.
we'll see.
I think the first question is how was talking to each other during the race?
It wasn't like as eventful as you might expect, purely because of the early death. Like,
Yeah, after that
probably-
point, like I wasn't really like gonna trash talk him after dying to that. Like I've done that crap before too, so like.
it was one of the, like I just said GG, you know, like as soon as that happened, because it's just like, I mean, it's not unreasonable that Vula couldn't make any like ridiculous kind of deaths like that, but I specifically needed that to not happen and for it to happen to him to really win. So like that was just like, oh, okay, well, let's just finish the run.
And like also you wouldn't have been counting on that kind of thing to happen to me so that you could sneak your way back in. Like that's just not
Right, yeah.
Right.
I mean the trash talk's all in good fun, but yeah, like I did not want that to happen to him. And I mean you can see by the final time, like if he had not had that death, even with every other part of his run exactly the same way, he would have gotten a really good time and improved the best race time. So blah.
That's a pretty appropriate reaction, just to worry in general sometimes. Wonderful speed game, but sometimes that is the appropriate reaction. Hobbs, I want to ask you another quick question. Before the race, you had explicitly mentioned that you were going to go for less safety unless you were like damaged or something. Do you feel that you followed through with that, or did it just sort of not matter after some of those early mistakes?
Yeah, I normally take a safety save in Valley right before the bird shaft on the way up to Fast Stompless. And so I said, you know what, I've been, getting more consistent at this again, so I'm just going to remove that safety save unless I take damage before that point. And the nice thing about that is that safety save is a twofer, because if I do that safety save, then I have to save on the Spirit Well before Sarabash in order to get my energy back. And so that's why I really wanted to cut that one out in particular. And then I thought about cutting out the one in Sara Pass, but since the race was already so far apart, there wasn't really much of a point. And I didn't end up needing it anyways, but better just have it in that case.
Sorry, I do want to point out, just in case you weren't aware, although you probably were, I think you both got first try door warp and first try grenade jump.
Yeah.
Hobbs, how did that feel, Hobbs? After practicing for about an hour yesterday.
I got lucky. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
What a wonderful answer.
I mean, it happens. I've gotten first try before. It's not gonna be the last time.
Oh god.
Sounds good to me. So Vulajin, how do you feel with this going into the brackets with a 3-0 and a best race time 31-41?
I mean,
is that your goal?
The 3-0 is definitely my goal. I'm really proud that I was able to, like last year I had the top seed in my group as well as this year, but I just could not get the performance that I wanted out of myself, and I went against Elo, who was in my group. Of course, Elo now, if I go against him, he'll just kick my butt, but in that race against him, like I needed to be able to play the game well, and I just didn't, and he kicked my butt. But in the 3 races so far, I've played pretty okay. I was kind of expecting. I think if Celeste hadn't come out, this match would have been a lot closer. Hobbs would have really given me a run for my money and possibly even won. So I'm just thankful to what's the guy's name? Noel Berry. And Matt from Celeste team for helping me out here.
It's all Kevin's fault, really. I'm gonna go play some Celeste right after this.
So I guess on that topic, Hobbs, with the not as much practice that you put into this game, but has put in for the past few weeks. Was this your goal in the group stage with having a 35 time?
I mean, it would have been nice to bop Vula, but I didn't put in the hours. Like, this is like just goes to show like that putting in the hours. Nice dot undone, by the way, Vula. In the race.
Oh, nice. I must have pressed a button or something.
This is it just goes to show, put in the hours and you'll get the return. Vula's a great runner.
All right, sounds good to me. But great job to both you, and I'm excited to see both your matches in the bracket. And I guess Vula, is there a chance that you could talk to us actually about what actually goes on during the bracket?
Yeah, so that'll be starting in just about a week from now. But basically, we have kind of an overly complex format that I think is going to be really cool. And the idea is it's partial double elimination. So we're going to have 2 rounds of double elimination where if you're in the upper bracket and you lose a game, you go down to the lower bracket and you have a chance to win your way back. You have to do that after those 2 rounds are over, and there's a win-back match. Now, the other twist is half of the players, the lower half of all ranked players from the group stage, are seeded directly into the lower bracket of the double elimination. And that is based on all of the players. So nobody is eliminated from groups, period. Everyone is advancing. It's just that anybody seeds 36 and below are all going to be in the lower bracket to start. So that means you're going to be seeing, in that lower bracket, you're going to be seeing some really close matchups to start. And in the upper bracket, too, you're going to see more close matchups quicker than in, what you might expect from a 71-person bracket.
And the cool thing... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just going to give you one example of a really potentially incredible match. Right now, the 16 and 17 seeds, the Roos is Loose and Agendracher or Richard, are slated to go against one another in the first round. So that's in the upper bracket, but still, that matchup has the potential to be absolutely incredible. And
the cool thing too is that the whole bracket merges back into one, the whole double bracket system merges back into one bracket later, in later rounds, at which point the matches go from being best of 1 to best of X or best of 3, to begin with. So it's a super cool format that'll involve just a lot more matches than you'd expect.
Yeah, without dragging on too long. If we continued the double elimination the entire way, obviously you'd end up just this massive bracket that it takes forever. There's so much crap, but we're gonna get through the double elimination portion pretty quickly, and we're gonna have people compete to win back in, and then that's it. So you get 2 chances if you manage to get those top half seeds. And if you didn't, then you get the 1 chance. But I think this is going to be really cool. I'm really excited. And like I said, I apparently ended up managing to accidentally place in the same part of the bracket as Sigma. So, oh boy.
That's going to be a fun event coming into that. But Graham, any final questions do we have?
I have no questions. I am satisfied with the results of that experience.
Okay, so sounds good to me.
Yeah, Clean, it was a lot of fun commentating with you, and Hobbs and Vula, thanks for talking to us, and Vula, thank you for giving all that nice information. I'm glad that you did that, because I think I would have botched it probably, so thank you.
Well, thank you both, and I look forward to watching the race back afterwards.
I don't.
You got some bad puns.
You got some good commentator stuff going on in there. Ticked all the boxes.
God help us all.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, we're going to have one more match from Hydra probably sometime this week that was delayed due to injury, and then as Vula said, we'll be getting going with some of the actual high stakes elimination stuff in probably a week-ish. Otherwise, it's been fun. Everyone, I hope you have a good night. If you're in Europe and you're still watching, props for staying up late, and we're happy you're here. And otherwise, yeah, have a good one. Clean, again, it was fun talking with you.
Definitely, and we hope you all have a good night.
Show Kuro that Light Burst or Light Grenade is environmentally friendly, and he'll do that by slamming his head against the ceiling, because there's no real way to show that you're sorry for your environmental crimes than running face first into the ceiling at high speed. Attempts worth. 5 attempts worth. Alright, second try, and he...
Oh, what?
Oh,
He got
wait,
robbed.
That... Okay, so that doesn't soft lock, that's
Ghost door, and he actually utilizes the Frankie for the death, which is a little further away from the spider.
Oh, he gets the spider shot.
Nice. So Cheese actually goes also.
Cheese with a little bit better movement there.
Oh.
Actually, he's ahead. But who's ahead? I can't tell. No, it's Monkley. It's still Monkley.
It is just.
Oh, that's
Barely.
gotta be tied.
We have a tie race going into Bash here.
I've set up.
Oh, Monkley's shot going through.
Oh, Cheese missed the double bash though. He's gonna go back up. Monkley's shots are facing through the floor. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Cheese has broken his swamp.
Oh,
now-
Monkley getting
Oh,
hit by
no!
the shot. That is very unfortunate for Monkley, but he does not die.
Slower Spider's cooperating. Monkley's shot looks pretty good to me. It might be a little high, but I think it...
Monkley with the damage boost. He doesn't usually do that.
Oh, and he
God.
nice. The shot hit. I think he didn't like what his spider was doing there.
With a
Cheese
little
bombs
bonk
on the
there.
rocket jump. He's got to get up in the great play jump position. Super precise. He has to nail this one frame input right now, and he gets it.
Cheese gets grenade jump.
He's
What
done
an
it.
incredible race as Monkley here, following.
Okay, nice job not getting damage on the Spike Vulajin as first and second try and swamp entry on his tournament races so far, and this one looks good. So far he is doing, as always, the controller method, and there it goes, making that trick look like a breeze. If you play on keyboard,
He had a trouble on the first attempt. He actually just fell right into the frog, but now he's trying it again, and oh, he gets it very nice. Man, that was very close. And yeah, as you can, it's definitely a weirder type of trick here. Some people opt to manipulate 2 birds. He's just gonna go for 1, and he's in.
very quickly, got out the second time with 1 health remaining. He's gonna do a charge jump to the spawn curve. He's gonna get up towards the top, and let's see how many attempts it takes that grenade jump. Fula has 1.5 energy. Hopefully he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. First try. Nice.
Very nice job. His skills. There we go. English, please. We're good.
That's right. JHobz is gonna play with a little bit of safety. Oh my god.
God, what? How did he do it? A victory. Oh, not a victory, just the end of the race.
Specific spot on the wall. He's going to use climb and aim a charge jump at as high an angle as it can go. Press A, whatever the inputs are. He did it well.
Whatever they